What is going on? It's Dave Umphris in Denver, Colorado. We run a real estate team that's kind of spread all over Colorado called the Umphris Group. And I had an interesting experience this weekend. I enjoy reflecting on experiences I have, whether in the business or in life outside of business that can help other people build their business. And so we talk a lot in the real estate industry about lead generation, about creating business, about the steps that we're doing, the activities that we're doing to create business. And I had an interesting experience this weekend from a different business, which was really cool. So yesterday, Labor Day, I'm sitting at home. We're all at home, and the doorbell rings, and the Amazon package had already come for the day, so we knew it wasn't that. And so you know how it is these days, where you're kind of like, what? Who's there? Like I'm not expecting anybody. Why is somebody ringing my doorbell? Why don't they just text me if they know me? So I go to the doorbell, and it's a girl, probably about 15 years old, from the neighborhood. I'd never seen her or met her, but we moved into this neighborhood about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and there was somebody standing there with a plate of cookies that said, "Welcome to the neighborhood" on it. And so I stepped out and met her, and she had a little black lab puppy with her, so I played with the puppy for a minute. Then my 3-year-old was walking by the door, so I grabbed him to come out. And eventually, after a few minutes, it became evident that she was there to welcome us to the neighborhood, but she was also there lead generating. And after a few minutes, it came up that she said, "And just so you know, I also babysit if you guys are looking for a babysitter." And so I said, "Oh, that's great. Let me grab my wife." So I grabbed my wife, and she brought our 8-month-old out, and she met the girl, and then they talked for 10 minutes or so. But it really struck me that her commitment to lead generation was extremely high. What she was willing to do, the steps she was willing to take to make a good impression and to create an opportunity for her was astonishing. Now, juxtapose that to the same day, somebody else in a different neighborhood that we used to live in posted on Nextdoor. Mom posted that daughter is willing to babysit and call this number if you're interested. She's great, da da da. And that was their, lead generation effort. And it just struck me the same day, looking at two probably equally qualified, equally skilled, probably both would take great care of your child, but take night and day different approaches to lead generation. One gets a lead, so she heard that, just for context too, I got to tell you, this girl ends up, she lives 8 doors down, right? And so there's 7 houses on either side that are closer to us. There's 14 houses across the street that are closer than her house is. There's 28 houses closer to us than this house. So it's not like it was right next door. She got a lead at some point, probably from the previous owners that said this new family's moving in, they've got young kids, and she look at the effort she took. I mean, she made cookies. First of all, I'm assuming she made them. She put them on a plate, wrapped them up, made the note, put it there, walked down the street, probably waited until there was cars in the driveway showing that we're home, rang the doorbell, probably took a deep breath, was nervous, and went forward with her script. And ultimately went in for the close. I mean, that is extreme ownership of your lead generation as opposed to the other girl. Who knows if she was even committed to it or not? I mean, her mom posted it for her. It's not like she even made the post. And like I said, probably both great people. My guess is they see very different businesses, very different results in business. I'd liken it to the difference between an employee and a business owner. In real estate specifically, we are business owners. Lots of times we come out of an industry where we had more of a mentality of an employee. And so sometimes we can bring that into real estate and have this idea that we show up, punch the clock, do our job, do the couple things that are handed to us, and don't take a whole lot of ownership of creating business. And I think lots of times that is just the difference between a goal of creating business and a commitment to create business. We say this week I'm going to come up with 2 new buyers, 2 new sellers, 2 new contracts, whatever. And we might have that goal that says, I hope that I do that. I'm going to take these actions. Lots of times these lead to certain results. So I'm going to do that. Whereas a commitment would say, I'm committed to 2 new clients this week, no matter what, come hell or high water, I'm going to find a way. And if I get to Friday evening and I don't have my 2 new clients, I'm going to keep going. And that becomes my only focus for the weekend. And I don't leave the office until I get them, or I don't hang up the phone until I get them, or whatever. It's a commitment that says, I'm making this happen. And so it was so interesting to me to see 2 different people, one with such a higher level of commitment to creating business, and one that was maybe not willing to take as much initiative or make it happen. And for us in our day to day, that looks very different. Obviously, some people door knocking is not their thing, and obviously every analogy breaks down at some point. That might not be the takeaway. But what is your thing? I mean, your your commitment to lead generation, your 10xing your own lead gen might be different. It might mean reaching out to 10 members of your sphere of influence this week and pursuing a coffee date or lunch or whatever that touch looks like. It might mean going through all of your internet leads that have been in your system for the last several years and calling, texting, and emailing every single one of them. It might mean a handwritten note to every past client you've ever worked with, thanking them for their business and asking them if there's anything you can do to help, or wishing them well, or not asking for anything in return, but just touching base with them. Excuse me. 10x in your own lead generation might look very different, but ask yourself, what would it look like to take my average and 10x that, or put white glove service to that, so that people receive my inquiry with surprise. They're impressed by how much effort you went to touch them, or to make it easy to work with you, or to reach out to them. So I hope that's helpful. I hope this little story of the girl down the street willing to take significant action towards creating business, creating leads, hopefully that translates to your business. I hope you're doing well. Have a great day. If there's ever anything I can do to help, davesoldmyhouse@gmail.com. I love talking real estate. So if there's anything, any questions, any challenges, anything like that, let's talk. Talk to you later. See ya.